Round 2 of the GRC wraps up today. It's the Celtic Dragons will be playing host to the Flakers as the two teams head into their first subscriber clash of season number 4. But it will be the home team under the most pressure after they failed to pick up the win in round 1. Hello everyone and welcome back along to your home of rugby in the final match of round 2 of the Global Rugby Challenge. It is the Celtic Dragons at home to the Flakers, and this home side will be looking for a much better performance than what they put in round 1 against the Glasgow Warriors. A 17-all draw is far from the expected performance by this team, and they have put themselves in a pretty difficult situation. They have to come up against a side like the Flakers, desperate already for the victory. The team has undergone quite a shake-up for today's matchup and will line up as follows. The front row, Ray Allenson will be alongside Daniel Jenkins and Buzz Kuketa. Daniel will be the remaining tight head prop. Into the second row, the Moriarty brothers together, Max and Finley will be at 4 and 5. Manuel Milirio will be at 6, with the impressive Milton Simiu lining up at 7, with of course the big man Craig Anderson at the back of the pack. It's Banavakin to Daniel, the second of the Daniels, in at number 9 scrum half, and he will partner the experienced Steve Tekogs, who will be lining up in the number 10 fly half jumper. Moving in to midfield, Derek McGregor will be an inside centre with Oscar Connolly at 13. On the left wing, Scott Andrew will be with Callum Ewing, who moves across to the right wing now in 14. And at fullback will be Ian Ferguson lining up for the Celtic Dragons. A strong-looking side. They'll be hoping to build on the impressive segments they got out of their opening match and hoping to build on those to bigger and better performances. Up against them will be the Flakers, a team that scraped their way to a tidy victory in round 1 up against the Exeter Chiefs. They come home with a 24-14 victory over the English side. Now round 2, they'll be looking to pile on the misery, their first subscriber clash as well, and they've got to do it against the Dragons, who will be rather desperate in this stage already. Their lineup for today's matchup, Rava Pila will be at loose end with Peter Matthews at hooker, and it'll be Zaza Kukulska lining up on the tight end side. Tommy Ganser will be alongside Chris Smith in the locking partnership with Frederick Loeb at 6, Roy Filkins at 7, and Callum Wilson lining up at the back of the scrum to complete the forward pack. It is another Wilson, this time Harry Wilson, who is at number 9, and he will be alongside Josh Walpole in the halves. Into midfield, Desmond Uni will be alongside Pierre Valentine, and then the exciting back 3 will be Prince Mars Williamson on the left wing, Luca Moscow on the right, and Rodrigo Martins will come in to take the number 15 jumper for the Flakers. This is a big match. This is a tough match too. One team desperate, the other will be looking to continue their good form. Who will take this big round 2 clash out before we move on to bigger and better things in the third round and on? So we are all ready for kickoff. It's Steve Tekogs in the purple for the Celtic Dragons, who will begin the game underway, and it's the yellow main strips of the Flakers who will be receiving. Underway we are for the match of round 2, and oh, what a take! Callum Ewing flying high, beautifully taking that ball out of the sky, but he won't be able to hang on to it, and the ball's fired back to Walpole, who kicks this long away from the chase of Ferguson. And eventually back there, it is fielded by Scott Andrew. He kicks back, and a chase from Pierre Valentine can't keep it from wandering his way out of the touchline. And first touch of the season for Andrew in the side, and a little bit of territory early on here for the Dragons. Peter Matthews to throw in. He's given it away as well. Beautifully taken there from Chris Smith. And the Dragons have a huge opportunity now to put points on the board early. Running and finding room. Daniel cutting it back inside. Now it's Tekogs. And the run, an instant impression there from McGregor before. Here's Jenkins again. Nice pass back across the action. And Daniel is in for more. Just outside the 22 are the Dragons. They go short to Tekogs, who plays a little bit fancy rugby there, but nothing Jenkins can do. Now he's a run for Moriarty. That's Max this time. He finds a little bit of space on the short side. Here's Daniel running himself and offloading now. Here's some big boys. Room out from the midfield. Here's Oscar Connolly. One to beat for Connolly. Can't get away. Great tackle, Martins. And the Flakers cut in half, but they survive. Here's Andrew stepping through one. They look left side. Great pass from Anderson. One to beat out wide. But Daniel can't get away from that either. They go short now, turning around the blind side again. Another big chance. Jenkins goes the line. He's got it over. Daniel Jenkins scores an absolute scorcher down the left wing. What a finish from number 2. That's right, the hooker, Daniel Jenkins, on the fly. Shot from Daniel back to Tecox. Then look at Jenkins go. 3 defenders, get out of the way. What a miraculous finish there from the hooker. Beautiful work. Look at this. Just watch it in all its glory. Bang. See you later. Get out of here, Martins. And then he bulldozes his way through the intended tackle of Tommy Ganser at the end as well. What a play. What an exceptional piece of work by Daniel Jenkins. Speaking of Daniel, it's number 9. Banabakin to Daniel, who will line up the shot at goal. Well on the left-hand side, no mistake there from the man in number 9 jumper. Banabakin to Daniel, puts it over. Great name and a great kick to boot as well. Back to halfway for Josh Walpole. He's got to lead his team with a bit more ball here. If he can regather, it won't be happening there. It's just easily taken from Malero. And the Dragons will set it up for another attempt. Here's Moriarty as they swift it left and right. It's a great offload there from McGregor. And he finds Connolly in a bit of space too. Now they get a bit of free-flowing ball going through the Dragons. They come out left side. It's another chance for Andrew. And he stopped trying to find a bit of room on their side. Here's another round here for Daniel Jenkins. Got offload as well from Jenkins. Running away is Malero. Malero of the fan. He just about gets away. Great chase defensively there from the Flakers, and they are under the pump big time. Connolly goes to Tech Hogs, who spots a little hole, but it quickly shuts on him. Now it's Ellenson! Ray Ellenson down the short side. Too much room there, Flakers defence. Daniel out to Connolly. Big man in the midfield. Daniel gets in there beautifully to McGregor, who fires it back and field. It's going to be a turnover here for the Flakers. Surely no one getting into the ball. That's a big chance wasted. As this time Finley Moriarty jumps in the deep end. Waiting for it in the back now. Craig Anderson back to Tecox. Puts it high. Is there a chase here for the Dragons? Doesn't look like it. And it's easily claimed to the back by Martins. And here come the Flakers. Kukulska. Oh, high tackle there on Zaza Kukulska from Ian Ferguson. And we've already seen a little bit of inconsistency coming in from the referees this season. That time it was left with no cards, just a penalty. And the Flakers opt for a kick to touch. And Walpole does it nicely, gets it over the sideline. And they'll reset now just to slither inside the Dragons' half. And their last line out was a bit of a nightmare, so Matthews will want to get a man, but he hasn't there at all. It's another stolen ball from the Dragons. Moriarty causing havoc as they fire it out to Andrew. Wide ball, quick ball as well. One to beat, goes to field. Connolly gets on line to Tecox. Tecox beats 2 and finally goes to ground. The turnover from Flakers. Now here come the Flakers. Walpole with one to beat, gives to Valentine. Pierre Valentine down the right wing. Will they catch him? They do. Oh, what a chase. And a turnover from Daniel as well. Now Andrew's running it back. Goes to Connolly. Connolly over halfway. Here comes the chase. Big work to do. Oh, he's gone high. And this could be trouble now for Rodrigo Martins. What a little stanza. It's a yellow card. And the Flakers lose their fullback. And could you question that either? Because let's be honest, they were clear and away. Oscar Connolly was in for the try, surely, at that stage. And here is Banabakintu. Daniel, always think his first and last name should be around the other way, but that is a great kick there from Daniel. And over it goes, the penalty from right in front. And the Celtic Dragons are up 10 points to 0 over the Flakers, and a yellow card period as well in their favour. They could really put themselves in a strong position heading into half-time. But what could have been there from Oscar Connolly? A great run from the outside centre. He's looked very dangerous. Great take there from Daniel as well. And here come the Dragons again. again. Allenson proving a real menace, but here's Moscow. What a turnover there. Great work from Kukulska and Matthews. Really linking up nicely in the front row. Now here's Valentine. A nice little offload to Loeb. And Frederick Loeb. Oh, what a penalty. Frederick Loeb wrapped up. And they've got the penalty to boot to the Dragons. That is amazing work. Quickly up and over the ball. Look at the size difference here. Samiu and Tekogs. Man and a mouse, but that kicks into touch. And I think the Dragons will be quite happy to go to the break here. 10 points to 0 up. They have dominated this first half. And you've got to say they should probably at least be that, if not more, in the lead. Look at that possession of territory, 76 and 61%. They have been all over this game. Line breaks 5-3. The Flakers have had a little fleeting chances. They've liked the counter-attack, but it hasn't quite worked in their favour every single time. And both sides happy to throw the ball around at any given chance. Back to the action we come. 40 minutes gone, 40 to go, and it's 10-0. Celtic Dragons lead over the Corn Flakers. This is a real turn-up to the books after that beautiful first round we had. Here's a big opportunity now for Callum Ewing. It's another strong play, though, from Oscar Connolly. Here is Max Moriarty going into midfield where Derek McGregor has a bit of a stab, and he's under a bit of pressure here. Not many purple jerseys in there at all, and it's turned over. Now we can go up the Flakers. Warple puts it high. Big shakes there. Plenty of yellow jumpers. Pressure is on. Well taken there from Roy Filkins. Just 5 minutes short now. They've got to score. Harry Wilson out wide for Ganter. They keep it alive. Oh, what has he done there? Josh Walpole has done an absolute hospital pass to one of the best finishers in the league. Ewing couldn't get it over. They will eventually, though. Tommy Ganter will score. And it was a little bit farther away from the first chance, but they will take it, the Flakers. A little bit anticlimactic. But how about that ball? Goodness gracious, to Callum Ewing, who would have scored that 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000 any other day. But the magic ball, look at that. Let's give a little bit of credit there too to Prince Mars Williamson. Oh, you've got to feel sorry for poor Callum Ewing. He just can't get anything on his side at the moment. With that pass, oh, he got crunched too. That looked like Busky Kita Daniel, who absolutely smashed Prince Mars Williamson. But the reward is there, and the try is scored. And the conversion will be kicked. Of course, number 9 on this side as well. Harry Wilson nails the shot at goal. And we have a 10-7 game now, and it's anything but over. Another try for the Dragons just before half-time could have made the world of difference. Now with their tails up, the Flakers, they could prove to be a telling difference. Here's Tekogs, game back underway. Little short kick, and Filkins is all over this one like an oily rag. Secures possession. Valentine goes to Kukulski. Here's a little bit of magic as well. It's Ganser gets the way to Williamson again. Here's the danger man. Prince Mars Williamson finds room out to his left side, and Callum Wilson has a good go at it. The big man, and number 8 just about gets away. Filkins still Warple. Here's a bit of room out for them as well. They want Valentine, goes to Udi. And first I've already said Desmond Udi's name. Here's Filkins with another go. But a change of direction. Oh, and a huge tackle as well. Backwards they go. Here's Wilson. There's Callum Wilson. Eventually Warple gets it in from Rhoda Pila. And they set it up right on halfway. Waiting for the ball is Loeb. Loeb has a bit of a run, and he finds his man out there. That's Callum Wilson again. Wilson's too close to each other here. It's Tommy Ganser. Finds his way to Warple. He looks like he's going to kick for touch, and he does. Half decent job of it. Oh, danger at the back there for Ian Ferguson. Carries the ball over the sideline, and the mistake we see so often by these sides has once again come to fruition. He's got changes for the Dragons. Paul on for Jenkins. I think there's Cook on as well, if I'm not mistaken, for Samiu. Back to the action we go, though. It's a line out, finally hit the target. There was Peter Matthews. And they maul to the Flakers into the 22. Deep in the 22 now. Loeb waits, fires a wide ball. Prince Mars Williamson. Oh, he'll go all the way himself. Will he? No! He's a metre short. What a run from the left winger. is electric. Now they've got heaps of room, and it's going to be a try to Josh Walpole. Oh, easy as that. He'll take that all day long. Harry Wilson spotting the space in an instant. And the Dragons could not clean it up. But how about this man? Prince Mars Williamson. Absolutely electric. And just a little bit of pace on the feet of Ian Ferguson. Stopped him in his tracks with some quick recycled ball. Straight out by Harry Wilson. And delivered beautifully. Look, Pierre Valentine, he was the first one there. Desmond Newdy, Frederick Loeb got there as well. Then Wilson straight out to Josh Walpole. And he puts the finishing touches on the cake. And that will give, surprisingly, the Flakers the lead as well. Season 1 champions looking to return to the glory days. Here is Harry Wilson, the man that created the chance to put it over. He does. It's 14-10. This one's far from done. The Flakers are back in town. Still plenty of time on the clock, though. Don't forget about that. Just 62 gone. And that early first half domination by the Dragons has been quickly forgotten. It's another great take and a beautiful pass through from Flakers. And Walpole. Oh, don't tell me again. Oh, no, not Scott Andrew this time. He's carried the ball over, trying to claim that kick. He's just put his feet on the line, and you just can't get away with that these days. Big chance now. The Flakers, they could put this away. At the back, Chris Smith, he's the magic man. Walpole goes down the back line as Desmond Newdy has a bit of a scamper as well. Filkins is out there, it's Prince Mars Williamson, the danger man on the 22. One to beat for Williamson, he takes on his man. Ferguson over it. That is beautiful defensive work. Quickly recycled though. Walpole, oh, he's hammered. Big tackle there from Derek McGregor. Quickly recycled again, Zara Kukulska. Looking for the turnover, the Dragons. It doesn't come. This is make or break. Concede now and you're done. A little grabber kick through from Wilson. He's done so much right tonight as Harry Wilson. That one will go down as possibly a missed chance. 10 to play. And the Dragons, well, they think they've got enough time in the bank to kick their way down to the other end of the field and put pressure on these Flakers. It's a short one. That's a very good kick too. Look at Moscow. Oh, almost magic from the right winger. Why didn't he just run? He just cut through that defence beautifully. Oh, that was magical to watch.
Crouch.
But he passed to Chris Smith. That led to the mistake.
Set.
What could have been there for Luka Moscow. Scrum packs down. But up into Daniel Feeds. And this is important now with less than 6 to play. Daniel out to Tecox. They cut out pass, finding Oscar Connolly. Connolly through the middle. Oh, Oscar Connolly! He dummies his way to glory! And the Dragons will steal the victory! Oh, wow, what a play from Oscar Connolly! And you do not forgive him for throwing that big fist pump in the air. That was magical. Look at the work here from Connolly. Cut inside Williamson and Valentine. And then left the attempted defensive work of Martins for dust. And scampered his way to the line. This is beautiful to watch. Brilliant solo, individual, spectacular rugby from Oscar Connolly. And he can crown himself the champion of round 2 for the Dragons. That was exactly what they needed, and they needed it sooner. But he's come up trumps when it's really mattered. He said he's had plenty of chances too, Connolly. Should have scored earlier, just didn't quite get the finish to go his way. He got hit high on another break. It's been the night of Oscar Connolly. As Banabak into Daniel slots over the conversion. And then we've got more changes here. Chris Smith off for Manuel Valera. And we've got Asensio coming on for Peter Matthews as well in the front row. More changes. Francois Valentine on for what I thought has been an impressive Roy Filkins tonight. But on the way we go, Walpole kicks it high and it's nicely claimed too from Ray Allenson. Now they're just got to hang on to the Dragons. Oh no! They've given away a forward pass. They will give possession away as well. Unbelievable stuff here Is there still another twist in this one? They'll have the scrum. Where was the forward pass there? I didn't see it.
Bind.
There's time.
Sit.
80 minutes is up. Is there another twist in this one? Is there one more play of magic? It's a great scrum too. Here is Harry Wilson going away to Luka Moscow, looking down short side, great tackle! Oh, Scott Andrew! That is a majestic piece of defensive work from the left winger! And yes, celebrate you will! The Celtic Dragons with a brilliant final 10 minutes. Attacking and defensive work has been outstanding for the opening 40 of the Dragons, and then that final 10 where they just put the Flakers away. This Flakers side, though, very good through that middle passage of the second half. They got their tries and they were back in the game. 2 tries apiece, though, it was for Daniel Jenkins, an absolute screamer, and let's be fair, Oscar Conley, a screamer of his own as well. Daniel nailed all his conversions. That is Banaba Kintu Daniel as well, with 3 kicks from the tee. And then it was, of course, Tommy Gunza with 1 try for the Flakers and Josh Walpole with the other. It was Harry Wilson who did the kicking duties, and he nailed both of his shots at goal. That penalty, though, the big difference when it was the yellow card to Rodrigo Martins, that ultimately sealed the fate come the end of the game. Full-time stats where you can see here the Flakers really stormed their way back into the game. A lot more ball in that second half, a lot more chances, and you can even see they turned around that line break deficit. They had a much better second half, and it was a game really of 4 quarters, I guess you could say, where the teams switched and changed how well they dominated very, very often throughout the game. But of course, following on from that result, we can see the changes to the table now sees the Celtic Dragons up there with 1 win and 1 draw, sitting in 4th position. Of course, it is the Pacific Toa who lead everyone on 9 points at the top. 2 wins from 2 attempts and 2 subscriber clashes as well. That is an impressive start to the season. The Guardians and the Flakers sit down on 5 points, and it's the poor old All Flakes. 1 game, they got dumped by the Toa, and they just had the 1 point from their opening game. They had the bye in round 2, remember, as well, so they'll be back first match of round 3, which consequently is our next match of the season, and they will be going up against a tough opposition as well, the Guardians of the Crib, who are 1-1 from their opening 2 games. And yes, we can see a full wrap of it here from round 2. Clermont over Saracens, Toa over the Guardians. The Crusaders surprisingly went down to the Jaguares, a bit of revenge from the Super Rugby final. We've seen the Exeter Chiefs get absolutely thumped by Leinster, and then a real low-scoring tight game between Toulouse and the Glasgow Warriors. The impressive Glasgow side picked up from their draw against the Dragons in round 1 to take their first victory, a 2-pointer over Toulouse from France. And then, of course, the match we've just witnessed, a real topsy-turvy battle that's seen the Dragons up over the Flakers. Moving on into round number 3, we can see we've got 4 games to come, all 5 teams involved. All Flakes kick off against the Guardians of the Crib in the first match. The Pacific Toa will take on the Exeter Chiefs. Then we've got Leinster up against the Celtic Dragons, sure to be a good, exciting game. Finally, the Flakers will take on Toulouse. A couple of AI games in there too. Jaguares will take on Clermont, and the impressive Glasgow Warriors will be taking on the Crusaders, which leaves us right here, All Flakes versus Guardians. Make sure you stick around for that one. It's going to be another goodie. This is, I don't know how many subscriber clashes we have already. 4, I think, 4 or 5. It has been a great start to the season, and the subscriber sides really haven't thrown too many big aggressive punches so far. They're struggling their way through, and it's looking like it might be a tight and even season of the GRC. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. Hope you're enjoying this series. Let me know your comments and thoughts as you have been doing for your players and teams of the week. If you haven't seen them, do check them out in the comments. Some really good work going in there for the player and team of the week. So make sure you check that out. And of course, thanks for tuning into the series. I'll see you all next time for more from the GRC. Until then, take care.